what he could have been. McCord, had he stayed at Ohio State, very well may have a national championship on his resume. So I think it's an interesting swing of the bat, if you will. It seems like a lot of us are wide receiver, defensive heavy. Tight end seems to be a trend across, these mock drafts and whatnot. And I think you'll see that play out over the course of the next few weeks. Green Bean, anything else you want to add to any of these mock drafts or what went down last night?
Well, let me tell you, I don't want Kyle McCord. I don't really want any quarterback. I just, like, people are talking about, trading back into the first for Dart and all. Like, I feel like we just want a quarterback so bad. Like, it's like, you don't want to do things just because, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to get locked into a marry. You don't want to marry somebody just because you want to be married. You know what I mean? You get locked into that shit. You get the government involved, and then she owns half your shit, and you don't even like her. It's a lot more
expensive to get out of a marriage than it is to get into one. It was like $38 or $41 when Becca and I got married. I was like, oh shit, it's gonna cost a lot more.
It's a lot more. Yeah, so you know what I mean? Like you want to be careful with that kind of shit. And like, so for me, I think, like, look, there's going to be a lot of free agent quarterbacks, and you have Jordan Travis. If you want to take, he's a mid-round flyer. You could see that. Like, I mean, I don't know. Do you really think Kyle McCord at pick 157? Are we developing him? We don't even know how good our staff is. Like, I don't know. It feels like a wasted pick to me. That's what it feels like. I would much prefer kind of shoring up some of the other pipelines, like maybe getting a cornerback there, like where I see that, you got him at 157. We got him at 168. So same pocket there. I don't know. I don't really want to do that. I will say, while it's exciting and fun, and like we talked about, our theme was we were going to trade back and see what it looks like. There's no Tet McMillan. There's no, Mason Graham. There are all those guys that we kind of look at because we're at 7. They're all gone. Now what do we do? I love doing that kind of shit. Like, I love forcing ourselves to look at other scenarios. That said, I really feel like it's going to be very difficult to do like a trade, like 12. If they want to come up and go for the running back, maybe that's, okay. What are you going to get? But I think if the Jets are going to end up trading back, it's going to be a really long, like, I think it's going to be somebody on the back end, and you're going to have to get future assets kind of a thing. Like, I just don't see, that kind of slide back 3 or 4 picks and gain an extra second. I don't know. I struggle to see it really happening.
Denver
but I
at
tell
20
you what,
is the interesting spot, I feel like. With Muji.
Who is it, Denver?
I think Denver is 20.
Who do they want, though?
I have no idea, but I think the Muji connection with Denver, could lead itself to some type of maneuver within the draft. Now, are they coming up for, I don't know, whatever player? Maybe it's like, hey, we'll give you next year's first, and that's all it is. Or, you're looking for future assets at that point. If you're kind of reserved to the fact that you're going quarterback next year, or maybe you're going to, instead of trading up from the second, you're looking to fall back and just take a quarterback at the back end of the first. I don't particularly want to do that either, though, I'll be honest.
But think about it. And like, maybe, I'd love to hear what Matt thinks about this too. Like taking, let's say you're sitting there, Tet McMillan's gone, whatever. Let's say you take Tyler Warren at 7, or like, who was I just thinking? Well, yeah, like end of next year's first.
Yeah.
Like another first, an extra, like, what's better?
I'll take Loveland in the first next year. Like, I like Tyler Warren, but I don't like him that much.
Yeah. And like, you could say the same thing about, Mason Graham. If, would you rather Alfred Collins and a first next year? And maybe you get you get something for this year, like an extra 5th or 4th or whatever it is, something like that. I mean, maybe it's richer, but I'm just saying, like, on a baseline thing, like a comparable player, because this draft is weird. It's like, it seems like there's just a straight line of like kind of on the same tier talent to me so far. That's what it looks like. So yeah, like Matt, like, would you rather like Warren or like Matt said, Loveland, then a first next year.
Yeah, I think I love Tyler Warren, and I would not be upset if the Jets just stuck and pick and took him. But let's say there is this scenario where you can move back and get a first-round pick for next year. I think you have to do it with how you're likely setting yourself up, because I think we all agree that 2026 is probably the year the Jets are looking for their franchise quarterback. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not, throwing in the towel on 2025 and trying to tank and get a top 3 pick here.
Right.
If you need to trade up, you're going to need that extra ammunition. And if the Jets are sitting there with 2 first-round picks, that's going to be a way for them to move up the draft board and potentially land the quarterback of the future. So I would be in on that. I just don't know how realistic it is that a team is going to want to trade up to where the Jets are at 7. It's going to depend on who's available. And like you said, Green Bean, it's kind of like, I feel like the draft kind of like flatlines for a little bit. Like you could find like a decent player from 10 to 45, but I don't know if they're going to be like a massive game changer. So then that kind of brings the question, like, who is that team who's picking like 18 to 25? Who are they trading up for in that scenario?
Yeah, those guys on the back end, though, they're the winning team. So maybe they feel like they need one player.
What's up, guys? Matt O'Leary from Talkin' Jets. If you liked that video, please make sure to subscribe and follow for more New York Jets content.